on that Thrive stuff, so I felt giddy pretty much every day now. So if there's kids around me making me feel happy, I wouldn't really be able to tell at this present moment. But, you know, it's the fact that we are empaths, because I know you're sensitive too.
Yeah.
Do you go on a lot of investigations with other paranormal teams? I know you've been with FEAR, and we hit the haunted Hill House over there in Fort Worth or Mineral Wells, and that was pretty crazy that night. But do you go out with other teams a lot, or?
Well, I'm starting to do more of that, you know, and kind of since I like to do the history, it seems like I pair well with them because I can tell them a little bit about, well, I know everyone talks about the person who died in the doorway, but do you know that someone, you know, I was reading on a newspaper archive about the person who was stuffed in a closet over here and found 3 days later. You know, when I've gone to these paranormal expos, I like to talk to the other paranormal groups. It's like how I met the people at like RIP Paranormal, Greg Stevens and Shannon Houck and the whole crew at
24-hour Power. Yeah, they're cool. And that's another expo that we're going to talk about here in a minute.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of cool people out here. And you learn, you know, from each one you go out with. So I'm sure that you've had an experience of some sort, whether it be, you know, just learning from those people and how they investigate to an actual paranormal experience. That's got to be very cool to be able to do that.
It's a lot of fun because I feel like it's fun to bring the history to it and then see, you know, tell them, okay, here's what I know just from the history standpoint. Maybe let's check this area out more, because sometimes the rumors about a place don't really match the actual history with it, you know, and so it's kind of nice to point out everybody's, you know, at the front door looking for stuff, but they need to be here in this back area in the alley. That's where I read about something major that happened, you know, like over at the Beckham Hotel. There was a pretty major incident that happened in the back alley, and I noticed when I read other ghost books and about different investigations there, it seems like people aren't aware of that, and it was quite. I didn't dig into it too much, but it's quite an interesting incident. It was at the Beckham was the White Hotel, and right across the street was the Black Hotel, and there was there was a black guy who worked at the Beckham. And while he was leaving out the entrance, the exit that he had to use because of his race, he was attacked by a white guy in the alley. And he defended himself and killed the white guy, but it ignited this big racial tension to the point where, you know, people were really concerned around town. And it was in Mineola. It was like this big deal. I think it was in the 40s. So I was like, what? Well, I would like to go there and check out the alley and see what happens. So,
well, you know, we've been to the Beckham a couple of times. I mean, Trana and them are so sweet, and the owner, Connie, is just amazing. And, you know, they've done so much, you know, to the place itself. Yeah. You know, when I spoke there at Spirit Fest last year, and I'll be speaking there again this year, it's just, it's a very beautiful hotel. Now, when I went up on the third floor, there used to be a little bit of illegal hoochie-coochie activity going on the third floor.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, and so because of my haircut, because of the way it's high and tight, because it looks kind of military, I get spirits kind of, should I say, or a little bit forward with me at times.
Oh.
Yeah, like I got a psychic was with us on the walkthrough of the third floor, and I was being propositioned, I guess, offered services that I nicely and politely declined and said, you know, I'm good, and I hope you realize that, you know, I am female, and I was told through the psychic they weren't concerned with that.
Oh.
Yeah, it was rather strange.
Wow.
That's happened a couple of locations that I've been thought of as a soldier back in, I guess, their day, or I don't know, because I don't know if it's the haircut or because I'm bigger than most girls, or, you know, as far as my stature, I don't know what it is. But, yeah, I've had
maybe
you know,
just your energy on some level, because maybe
maybe I'm
things the same way, you know.
Yeah, maybe I'm putting off some kind of big old female pheromone to the spirits. I'm not sure. Male spirit pheromone to the spirit. I don't know what the heck it is, but it's just been, that was a really strange thing. But the Beckham, I've heard footsteps there and I've heard things like that, but I had no clue that there was anything remotely going on in the alley. I did.
Yeah.
There's a little apartment kind of in the very back where the back entrance goes to the alley, and there's been some activity in that room, but I never knew anything about that. So, see, that's why you're so good about what you do, and with the Paranormal Texas thing, and now the cemetery symbolism and stuff like that, which you're going to speak on.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
We've got I like 20 minutes, so we're going to talk about that, right? We're going to talk about, first off, the first one you have in line is going to be August 28th and 29th at Hill House Manor in Gainesville, with the likes of people like me and like people like Dash Beardsley and Teal Gray. I mean, you know that chick? Have you ever heard of that chick, Teal Gray? I think maybe you might know her. She's all right. Yeah. And then, we've got Mark Fultz, and we've got Jeremy Leonard, and you, and am I missing somebody? Because I feel like I kind of am.
Yeah, there's that Scott, I don't know how he says his name.
Scott Grinwald. Jesus, the para-whore himself. How could I miss him? He was just added this week, though. Just this last week, actually. And God, you talk about crazy. Now, this guy dresses in pink tutus and plays the ukulele. I know you've met him, and I haven't had the opportunity. He's been on my show, and he was as crazy as all get out, and I can't wait to actually be in the same room with this man. So tell me a little bit about Scott Grinwald, just real quick before we talk about
He is he's just like a live wire. He's totally charged, really fun. And if you're feeling playful, and you know how sometimes you like might say a joke to somebody and they'll just kind of fall flat and look at you. You don't have to worry about that with him. I like that. You can just make a joke and he is going to run with it. It's like, oh, right. I mean, he's a hugger, too. You just say hi, and he'll just like, oh, hey, haven't met? I'm like, no. And next thing he's like, rah, bear hug, and then he just don't feel like he's ever met a stranger. He's a lot of fun. So, and I heard him speak.
I've heard that a lot. Chip and Greta said he was a great guy and that he was a lot of fun. And I see him and Greta kind of poking at each other, on Facebook. I guess I shouldn't use that word. I guess poking fun at each other on Facebook. Scott would have definitely ran with that one. Trust me, because he's something else. But so they really. I mean, I've heard nothing but positive, good things about Scott, and having him on my show was just too much fun. He was traveling in a car with some people, and he was just a lot of fun. And he's quick on the wit, and
yes, he is. He is, and like
I've never in my life. I told him, I don't know if you know this, but he was on a show called Paranormal Paparazzi, and he went on an investigation. This is extremely interesting because you'll have to look it up on YouTube now that I've mentioned it.
I will. Now I'm taking a note.
Yeah, so Paranormal Paparazzi, he had a little episode that he went, you know how they can do Naked and Afraid in the woods?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, well, Scott did Naked and Not Afraid on a paranormal investigation with some naked investigators, and I told him myself, this is nothing I have hid from him, that I was never more happy to see pixelation on a screen in my whole life.
I hope it was a warm location. I just wondered, how does that...
Well, it was funny. He goes, was there a big mass of pixelation? There had to be, right?
Oh, my gosh.
So we had a whole lot of fun with that. But, he's done some crazy things. But if we don't have fun with this group of people, if we don't get some activity with Teal Gray, who will be there giving out gallery readings. I mean, who does
I'm so
that?
excited. Yeah, it's for free. She's going to do a gallery reading. I'm so excited. And then, Dash Beardsley, he's like the ghost man of Galveston. Have you met him? Has he been on the show?
No, I have not met him, but I have heard a lot about this man, and he reminds me of some people all mixed together into one big fun bunch, and
yeah.
you know, it's like
he's got this
I don't know,
Plant head of hair, and he plays
that, but he's got like,
but he's so fun.
well, yeah, he's got that. He's got the dog, the bounty hunter type look, but not so weathered, you know. And then he's got the what was that other Mickey Rourke in the wrestler, but better looking than Mickey Rourke. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying that type of dress, that type of stature, the you know, the all that. But he's much better looking than those guys. I'm just gonna say that.
Well, and he's not a snob. He's just a nice guy. I mean, that's just him. He likes to dress, you know, and he's got a lot of personality. It's like, yeah, okay.
Yeah, I could tell that, you know, and I've heard that. I've heard that about him until we know her. I mean, like we said, she's wow. And then I haven't met Mark's Fulch yet. I haven't met him yet. Jeremy Leonard and I, he's cool as a cucumber. I love him.
Oh, good. I've not met him.
So you'll love him to death, and it's just gonna be a fun group of people, you know.
Sounds like a blast. Mhm.
But I've never. I mean, I don't know exactly what all is going to happen. I know that we're going to have some VIPs, and I know that we're going to have some really cool locations to investigate, along with the depot.
Yeah,
I do believe we're investigating that. Yes.
That whole hanging, the mass lynching of 40 suspected union sympathizers or whatever. That's like, what?
What? Yeah. Please fill me in. What are you talking about?
Okay. Well, I was over in Gainesville, and this is one of the places they're going to do an investigation. And I'd heard of this like while I was writing Paranormal Texas, and I just didn't get into it. It's like the hanging tree. And of course, a lot of places do have a hanging tree, but
especially down here.
But in this one was during the Civil War. It was like 1862, I think, and it was over in Gainesville, and there was a not exactly legal court convened, and they convicted 40 men who they thought, you know, they were just suspected of being Union sympathizers, and there was a mass lynching of all 40 of them. And I don't know all the different stories about them. I need to look into that more, but I was like, what? And so that's one of the, you know, gee, do you think that site might be a little haunted?
Ooh, maybe some energy going on there, some residual even. My goodness, yeah. Anything that has something that horrific with that many people, there's got to be at least a couple of them hanging around, just thinking, you know.
Hanging around, huh?
Yeah, no, that was bad. That was so bad.
You walked right into that.
I did not even pay attention to what I said. Oh, please forgive me. That was so bad.
Oh, God.
Oh, just walk right into the wall, Selena. It's okay. Bam. Place that foot in the mouth and then just bite on down on it.
I liked it.
Oh, so anywho, that was definitely no pun intended in that one, I'm just going to say. But, yeah, you can get tickets, and you need to hurry and get them because there's VIP tickets, and there's going to be a lot of extras, a lot of goodies. There's breakfast included. There's the investigation. There's the lectures. All that stuff is included. Get them now because it's going to be awesome. I mean, I'm just going to tell you, you get a free gallery of a psychic that is very well. I mean, she is so good that
she is great.
And I'm just going to tell you this, that I don't stick around when we went to the Phantom Fest in San Antonio, and I was broadcasting live, and she was doing, you know, readings and stuff. There was a grown man. Now, this man walked over, and he sat down, and he thought, yeah, well, let's see what she's got to say. Mm-hmm. And he you know, proceeded to sit his little butt down, and when he did, he had no idea what was going to come up. And it happened to be his wife that had passed, like, not too many years before, and he's still really torn up about it. Well, I walked back over after doing a live interview, and this man is in tears.
Oh, I was going to say, was he in tears? Because that's
yeah. Yes, and I'm like, wow. I mean, you don't, like, make men fall in love. You put them in tears when they talk to you, Till. What is up? She goes, oh, girl. That was hard. That was a hard one. And I'm like, oh, Jesus, you know. And, I mean, she's the real deal when you got grown men crying.
Oh, I sat next to her all day long at the Wake the Dead last year, and I politely, I was far enough away I couldn't hear what she was saying. I was at the next